Janelle Brown's rental house in Flagstaff was tiny but warm, with large windows that admitted the gentle light of the early morning sun. Inside, amidst the stillness and quiet outside, she felt a newfound peace settle in her chest. For the first time in what seemed like an eternity, she wasn't rushing or doubting, she was simply still, calm, free. She shuffled around the kitchen floor in her fuzzy socks, making herself a cup of tea. The production team had come in early, working quietly in the background, assembling equipment with effortless ease. Janelle knew today was not an ordinary day. Kody was on his way. He'd phoned her, demanding that they talk face to face. Told her it was urgent. Something about having to discuss something. But Janelle wasn't anxious. Not anymore. She had nothing left to prove. Downtown, Kody Brown held the steering wheel a bit too hard. His eyes were worn out, swollen from missed sleep. He hadn't really wanted to make this trip, but Robyn had persisted. The previous evening, she'd told him, "You need to make things right with Janelle. You sabotaged it. Now go mend it." But the reality was, Kody wasn't even certain what he was attempting to mend anymore. Hello there, welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to thumbs up this video. They were once all one family. But now, that was just something in the past. A remnant of what had been. When Kody did finally make it to the front door of Janelle's, he breathed deeply before entering. Janelle stood in the kitchen, arms crossed, expression unreadable. "Janelle," he started, his voice low and practiced. "I've been doing some thinking. I'd like to discuss us. Perhaps we can repair. Begin anew. I apologize about how things ended up." Robyn feels. But Janelle interrupted him with a laugh. A loud, genuine laugh that built in her chest and resounded through the room. Even one of the cameramen dropped his lens, surprised by the sound. "Oh, Robyn thinks?" she replied, eyebrow arched, voice dripping with incredulity. "So that's your sales pitch? You're here because she asked you to come?" Kody's features contorted in a combination of hurt pride and confusion. "You don't have to ridicule me." "Oh, but I sort of do," she said, touching a tear at the corner of her eye, not from grief, but from all that built-up emotion finally breaking free. "Because this is so you." You run back when Robyn begins to unravel. "All these years, years of destroying all we created, dismissing my boys, tuning out my voice. And now you're here." Kody gulped, but she wasn't done. "You chose," she went on. "You gave her your allegiance, your future, your money. And now that it's failing, you want a safety net?" "Kody, I'm not that woman any longer." He couldn't look at her. He simply stood there, absorbing the heaviness of her words. "I never meant for this to occur," he uttered at last. "Didn't you?" she snapped. "You let it happen. And now you think you can make it all better with a handshake and a half-hearted apology? That door's closed." Without another word, Kody turned and departed. The door clicked shut behind him, and there was only silence. Janelle took a deep, weary breath that sounded like it held 10 years' worth of heartache, and on it, she smiled. Meanwhile, back in Los Angeles, the editors at TLC were busily working. On the schedule, Robyn's most recent confession was queued up. Her voice shook, her eyes welled up with tears. "I never wanted to be the favorite," she cried. "I just wanted us all to be together." Melissa, supervising editor, raised an eyebrow and sighed. "How many times is she going to say that?" she whispered. The assistant editor chimed in. "The focus groups aren't buying it. They're calling it performative." With a decisive click, Melissa dragged Robyn's teary-eyed monologue into the archive folder. "Gone. We're cutting her. That's it. This isn't her story anymore. It's Janelle's." Later that evening, under the wide desert sky, Janelle sat on her patio, sipping a glass of wine, finally truly at peace. As evening fell, Janelle's phone vibrated. A text from Mary illuminated the screen. "He hit on me too. Claimed he needed me. Told him to go speak with Robyn. Also, heard you laughed in his face." "Iconic." Janelle snorted, laughing. She typed out a response. "It actually felt good. I didn't even realize how ready I was to be done until I said it out loud." Another buzz, this time from Christine. "Queen behavior. We're watching the raw cut right now. The editors cut Robyn's final scene. Girl, It's your show now. Janelle put down her phone and looked up at the stars. For once she felt light. The weight she'd been carrying for years, it wasn't there anymore. In a deleted scene that would never be seen, Robyn's voice was shaky through tears. Mascara streamed down her cheeks as she struggled to hold herself together. I just think that if we all worked harder and gave it more time, Janelle would change her mind. Behind the camera, a producer's voice interrupted softly, almost a memory. She used to off camera, but not for you. Robyn blinked into the lens, shocked. She looked genuinely distraught. But this time, the emotion didn't stick. It didn't touch anyone. Why aren't they using this scene? She breathed. No one replied. And then the final montage. A closing series of snapshots that revealed the true story. Janelle and Savannah, giggling as they strolled through a neighborhood farmer's market. Mary, tough and intent, backpacking by herself among the red rocks of Utah. Christine and Truly in the kitchen, bantering while recording a cooking video. Kody, by himself, his head buried in his hands on the front porch of Robyn's vacant mansion. And within that mansion, Robyn stood by, aghast as the cameras were loaded up and her last interview was discarded. The final shot, Janelle, radiant in the golden sunset light, sitting serenely on her porch. During the credits, her laugh rang out one last time, strong, unencumbered, unmistakably happy. And then her voice entered, measured and level. A woman can only be silenced for so long before she starts laughing at you. And once she does, there's no going back. At home, Robyn paced the floors, each squeaking step ringing through the quiet, her eyes puffy from crying, her cheeks flushed. A sympathetic camera operator had discreetly sent her a rough cut of the series finale. And it was everything she dreaded. Her final confessional, missing, no explanation, no last words, just the roar of the crowd cheering, and Janelle's victorious laugh echoing over a freezing fade to black. Angered, Robyn banged her phone on the marble counter, then reclaimed it and anxiously dialed the production office at TLC. Melissa answered. Hello, this is Robyn Brown. I just watched the episode. Why was I totally excluded? Silence. Then Melissa's calm voice replied. Hi Robyn, we're going in a different direction with editing. The audience wants authenticity now. Your perspective. It just doesn't resonate anymore. Robyn, panicked. You can't just erase me. I'm the story. Melissa, firm. Not anymore. Janelle's voice, her truth, that's what people are responding to. We've tested it. Your claims of being misunderstood don't land the way they used to. Robyn's lip trembled, surrounded by vacant furniture and the dying whispers of a life that was now no longer her own. She hung up the phone and fell to the ground. At the same time, several hundred miles away in Utah, Christine was bending over her kitchen table, gazing at her laptop. Her eyes were weary, but concentrated. Janelle's smiling face illuminated the screen, a glass of water in her hand. Christine, she teased. You laughed in his face. Honestly, I haven't seen anything better on television this year. Christine laughed, shaking her head. It was perfect. Just came out of me. I didn't plan it. They shared a warm laugh, but soon the mood changed. Christine, listen, Janelle said, speaking in a serious tone. I've kept records, every receipt, bank transfers, voice memos, screenshots, all of it. She reclined slowly, allowing it to rest. Since the day Kody gave Robyn access to the family funds, to the loans he made in the family LLC name to pay off her obligations, I've got it all. Janelle, do you mean we go public? Christine leaned forward. Janelle nodded deliberately. We do it our way, not on some well-taped-up confessional, some other person edits, not Kody's interpretation, but in our own words. She took a moment to collect her thoughts. For so long she'd been quiet, but now, that was behind her. Let's do this, she said with determination. They tried to shut us up. Let's give the world something they can't edit out. And meanwhile, across town, Kody slumped on the couch in what had once been Robyn's lavish living room. The space, once filled with glitter and prestige, now rang hollow. 4 months past due on the mortgage, property taxes unpaid. Half of the furniture was already gone, sold to keep the business afloat. He glared at his phone, hoping for a call that wasn't going to happen. TLC had fallen silent. No check-ins, no script revisions, no rescue. And Janelle, she wasn't glancing back. No do-overs. No parachute. Kody grumbled to himself. I gave everything to this family. I tried to guide. But even he didn't really believe it anymore. Not anymore. Then his phone flashed. A new message. A viral trend was blowing up on the internet. Janelle's laugh, the one she bestowed on him when he tried to woo her back, had become a meme. Memes, tweets, TikToks, all celebrating that moment. It had struck a chord, especially with divorced women, single moms, and anyone who'd once supported Kody, only to realize he'd never deserved their loyalty. One viral caption read, Janelle Brown laughing in Kody's face might be the most healing thing I've ever seen. Kody stared blankly at the screen, then let the phone slide from his hand as he sank deeper into the couch. 1 week later, Christine and Janelle sat side by side in front of a soft ring light, huddled in the corner of Christine's Utah home. No producers, no scripts, just them, their own camera crew, and their truth. Christine fixed her eyes directly into the lens. For years, we let someone else tell the story. But that ends today. Janelle continued. We kept quiet to shield the family, but silence empowered the wrong people. For the remaining 45 minutes, they said it all out. The uneven money split, the secret property scandal, the emotional manipulation, the favoritism, and the way Robyn had quietly asked the network to edit out anything that could make the family appear to be cracked up, while she quietly retained most of the profits. They didn't spare any words. And by the end, Christine's last words rang out loud. We're not bitter anymore. We're free. And finally we're telling the truth. Even Mary chimed in. Shortly after seeing the video, she shared a cryptic post on her Instagram story. Some of us stayed silent out of fear. Some stayed because we believed. But now, it's time to stop pretending. Final montage. Robyn, alone, sits and gazes at her phone, watching the video of Christine and Janelle go viral. Her face is ashen, shocked. Kody, alone in the dark, is unable to escape the ring of Janelle's laugh, persistent in his mind like a drumbeat he can't switch off. Janelle strolls through a bright sunny park, smiling and carefree. Christine holds her daughters close, peace and strength shining in her eyes. Christine's voice drifts over the last shots. They made us feel small. They told us we were the problem. But in the end, the truth doesn't need permission to be heard. Later that week, Robyn sat rigidly opposite her lawyer, Margot Dillinger, in a darkened office in downtown Flagstaff. Margot, a spry 50-something woman, was keen, severe-looking, and always sporting a Bluetooth headset that appeared to be riveted in place. Robyn's voice quivered with emotion. They cut me out of the show. They silenced my story. I want to know my rights. Margot listened quietly, then responded in a flat, even voice. Robyn, the footage is owned by TLC. Your contract grants them complete editing rights. Unless they defamed you, which they didn't, there's nothing legally amiss here. Robyn's voice shook. They're painting me as the bad guy. I was trying to keep the family together. Margot didn't blink. Robyn, your issue isn't legal. It's public opinion. And at the moment, it's not in your favor. You're not popular, Robyn. Margot spoke blunt, but truthfully. Christine and Janelle had become center stage, and Robyn knew it. Hearing their names made her chest constrict. They've made everyone hate me, Robyn whispered. Kody's tuned out. I'm totally alone in this. Margot rested her elbows on the table, her voice still softer but now firm. Then change the game. If you can't win the producers over, target the platform itself. Strike TLC where it would hurt most. Go public. Name contracts. Bring out what you can. Robyn blinked, and for the first time in weeks, there was something other than grief that crossed her eyes. Resolve. Perhaps even vengeance. At TLC headquarters, executives gathered around a polished glass table in a contemporary boardroom. Brad Fenner, director of reality content, slammed a folder shut in frustration. Robyn's threatening to sue, he declared. While Christine and Janelle's video reached 6 million views in 5 days, advertisers are already redirecting their focus. One of the assistants chimed in. What's Kody doing? Posting sad videos in his pickup truck, discoursing on spiritual betrayal. A couple of groans went around the table. Brad took a deep breath. Okay, here's the move. We lean in. Robyn gets no special treatment. We greenlight a new spin-off with Christine and Janelle at the center. If Kody wants in, fine. But he's not the main character anymore. And then came the bombshell. Suddenly mostly quiet, until then, posted a stunning document to her Patreon patrons. It was a scanned internal family record, and it lit up the internet. The file revealed that Robyn was the sole heir named on the family trust. Kody had quietly moved it into a private holding company. Janelle and Mary's names had been wiped from the property documents. To make matters worse, Robyn had also been receiving advanced royalties from sister wives, while the others remained in the dark. Fans were outraged. Even longtime supporters cried out for answers. Why had TLC enabled Robyn for so long? In her home, late one night, Robyn walked back and forth along a hallway filled with old family photographs. It all seemed so distant now. Across town, Kody sat staring at his phone, watching, reliving, replaying the second Janelle laughed at him. At the same time, Christine and Janelle posed under blinding lights, grinning as their new set sprang into life with energy. Crew members applauded. Cameras rolled. Electricity hummed. Mary, once and for all taking her own power, glared directly into her phone's camera. Self-assured. Done waiting. Done being left behind. First day of filming. Her new show was provisionally called Our Truth, Our Way. It premiered in Christine's backyard, among budding sunflowers, chickens clucking contentedly, and authentic laughter. No Kody, no filters, no silence. Christine gazed directly into the camera. We were taught that the highest virtue was sacrifice, that obeying God was obeying our husband. But nobody ever explained to us that losing ourselves in silence wasn't holy. It was tragic. Janelle nodded to her side. They told us our voices didn't count. This show, that is our voice. Raw. The entire female production team, separate from TLC, was close-knit and aggressively loyal to the new vision. The show was there. The LLC they started owned exclusive rights to their content, and the pilot would premiere across YouTube and streaming platforms. Off-camera, a producer shouted, "Ladies, the trailer just crossed 8.6 million views, and Netflix just called." Flashback summary. Christine Brown ended her 27-year spiritual marriage with Kody for good in November 2021. The flame had burned out long ago, and when she discovered Kody had picked Robyn over the rest of us, she grabbed her bags and packed off to Utah to find her bliss. In 2022, she matched with David Woolley on a dating site. Sparks flew. They got engaged in April 2023 and married in October. Unlike her tense, icy relationship with Kody, Christine and David's love was easy to spot. Smiling Instagram selfies, light-hearted on-camera moments, soft touch that spoke of "this is real." Christine now refers to David as her soulmate. Their chemistry is palpable in every showing, which may make things a tad awkward for Kody, who has to witness his ex-girl triumph, adored and at last appreciated. During a touching moment from season 19 Tell-All special, Christine had a sit-down with host Suki Krishnan and spilled like never before. She talked candidly about the absence of intimacy in her spiritual marriage to Kody, how isolating it was, how distant it had grown. And she made one point very plain. She needed and at last discovered actual closeness. Christine reflected on her relationship with Kody with honesty and acuity. Perhaps it had begun to feel significant, but over time the emotional connection was lost. By 2021, they were not just far apart physically, but emotionally as well. That's when they went their separate ways. During Sister Wives season 19, Christine revealed the moment when she knew that something was amiss. Seeing Kody's all-consuming dedication to Robyn made her feel invisible. Her marriage no longer felt authentic. It wasn't fulfilling her emotional needs, and hadn't for a very long time. In a moment of great self-awareness, Christine confessed something many women can probably identify with. "We used each other." She said their sex was mechanical, something they did the motions for, but without passion, without intent. She spoke of how Kody never really paid her much attention, how the talk of intimacy barely ever happened. She discussed on the tell-all, "Remember I asked him one time if we were going to be intimate anymore, and he said no." That was her wake-up call. So the next time he stopped by, I told him, "You're done." And with that her marriage came to an end. Not in flames, but in a definitive boundary and a brief moment of courage. Shortly after dumping Kody, Christine's world started to flower. It was in January 2023 that Victoria ventured online dating. By Valentine's Day, she'd announced she was in an exclusive relationship with David Woolley. a widower with 8 children. The attraction between them was unmistakable. By April, they were married, and on October 7, 2023, lovely Moab, Utah, they exchanged vows before 330 guests, including Christine's children. TLC televised the sister wives' wedding special, so fans could watch a real new beginning. This relationship, it's a whole different world from her first marriage. Christine and David are equals. They share values, respect, and most importantly, joy. He's not only a part of her life now, he's bonded with her kids and grandkids too. Christine says often it's the little things she loves most, the easy conversations, the way David shows up, and she wouldn't trade that for anything. As opposed to the emotional distance she experienced with Kody, her public affection with David is sensitive, sincere, and sometimes even teasing. At the tell-all special, host Suki Krishnan played a brief montage of Christine and David's most romantic moments in season 19. Giggles, hand-holding, fast kisses. Christine blushed slightly as she watched. David, who sat next to her, leaned over and grinned and said, "Well, you were starved for attention." Christine smiled, a little abashed, but she couldn't dispute it. He was correct. She had spent years yearning for contact. Now she was actually experiencing it. Later, as Kody sat down with Suki, she presented him with the same montage. Christine and David, openly affectionate, smiling broadly. She asked Kody how it made him feel to see his ex-wife so clearly loved by someone new. Unexpectedly, Kody surprised many viewers during the Sister Wives season 19 tell-all, when he offered some rare gracious words about Christine's new life. "Honestly, I'm happy for her," he told Suki. "This is what Christine always wanted. I've got to say, I'm kind of impressed. She really made it happen." He went on to consider their previous relationship. As the former head of a big polygamist family, Kody conceded things between him and Christine were seldom easy under the surface. "Christine was fun. We had a good time, sure," he said. "But when it came to the real day-to-day stuff, we both struggled. A lot." Christine naturally has been happy in her new life with David. And it's not an accident. David is monogamous, which is exactly the kind of life Christine had always imagined for herself. At first, some of her 6 children weren't as convinced. The courtship with David had been so rapid, and they were wary. But over time, they noticed what truly counted: the love, the stability, and how David treated their mom to be truly seen. That deep mutual affection, and their shared priority on family,